Hey, good evening, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. So in this video, I want to pregame for our big interview tomorrow with Jay of YieldMax, also called Title. That's he's kind of combined things. That's why if you guys have noticed, he's been a little bit busier lately. Um, so as I always do, this is tradition by now. Every time he comes on, I do this basically pregame to plan questions that we're going to ask, and I use this opportunity to source questions from the audience. I can say primarily what I'm going to focus on, probably for a good 5 to 10 minutes tomorrow, is going to be return of capital. I noticed today when I did my earlier video, I noticed they're actually putting the percent return of capital in the table, which I'll show you all where that is in case you're wondering. Um, but a lot of us have big questions as far as filing our taxes this year as to what's going to be considered return of capital and what's not for 2024. So that's going to be a big area. Obviously, going to talk about all the new funds and things like that, and it's pretty standard. That every fund manager always has new funds in the works and things like that. But I like to take as many questions as I can from the audience, so that's why I like to announce these things early. um, I'm not doing it as early now, but I'm giving basically 24 hours notice. So uh, for those of you that tune in tonight, definitely put in the comment section what you would like to see asked. I posted on a Facebook YieldMax page as well. Got some questions there. The questions weren't that great. Um, somebody asked basically, um, somebody asked like if it kept dropping, if they would stop getting dividend payments. And that wouldn't obviously be the case because as long as the fund exists, you're going to keep getting paid unless the fund drops to zero. So let me go back here, and they asked me for the link. Yeah, somebody asked if you don't reinvest dividends back into the fund, will the fund eventually stop paying you? I don't see why somebody would think that, honestly. Um, there's a lot of comments in this page about Misty stock market. They say, oh, this was 2 days ago. Okay, so in the table here, I'm going to pull this up so you all can see it. I happen to still have it open here. This is the website called globalnewswire.com. This is where the YieldMax dividends tend to get posted, and I'll show you all where they're listing return of capital. So right here, return of capital, some of them are 100%. So that's, I'll ask him basically, what inspired him to do that, and definitely when we can expect our tax forms for 2024. Because like I said, I know a lot of us are eager to get those. All right, let's go back here to the website. Um, and again, this, interviewing him and all that, getting good information is heavily dependent on the audience participation as well. So far we have got one comment. Hope you're doing well, Jane Koala. Oh, thank you. Nice picture. Yeah, like I say, any questions for the big man, Jay? Um, and I don't mean that as a reference to anything other than his stature as our fund manager, of course. I say that a bit, you know, uh, tongue in cheek, I guess. But I need questions, of course, from the audience to ask. So anyway, we got 7 of you on. Let me go to Discord here. We've got some of them sporadically put in. I'll ask him probably details on trades for some of these, positions and stuff. I will ask him, what he projects or what he's anticipating, or if he has like a target dividend. Obviously, they're called yield max, so they're targeting the maximum dividend payouts. But like the Palantir fund, I've never seen a dividend that high in any fund before. So let me stop the share here. Let's go to Discord real quick and get a pulse on what you all are saying in there. Okay. So like I said, what's changed for us since last time? There was like a merger with Title that was covered very well on Rod's channel. That's kind of the go-to that they're going to when they break news. Of course, we did have some correspondence that day, but he's been a lot harder to book for interviews because I would imagine he's a lot busier now. So aside from Nvidia earnings, that really took a lot of our focus today. We can also bring that up too with like NVDY and stuff. Um, we had a lot of discussion about margin and things like that. Um, Again, the bulk of Discord is talking about options trading and things like that, which if you guys haven't checked it out already, definitely check out all my trades for the year. Um, here's some stuff about Here's some good feedback here from Invest IQ. Synthetic ETFs using Section 1256 contracts, like certain options-based funds, face a unique tax challenge. The mark-to-market rule requires them to recognize gains annually, often leading to year-end distributions that keep the NAV from growing. While this doesn't limit total returns delivered via distributions, it shifts how we investors experience gains, and it introduces tax considerations. There is confusion about these rules, but this does apply specifically to 1256 contracts, for example, SPX options, which I don't touch those. Not all synthetic ETFs are or strategies. More research, as suggested, could confirm specifics about funds like XDTE or YieldMax, but the core issue is tax driven, not a flaw in the ETF's ability to deliver returns. I'm going to thumb that one up. That was a very thorough comment there. To illustrate, consider XDTE, this is part two, a synthetic ETF using SPX options. If the S&P 500 index rises 5% during the year, the SPX options value increases, and at year-end, XDTE must mark these to market, recognizing a 5% gain. To avoid fund level taxes, it distributes this gain, say 250 per share if the NAV was 50. The NAV resets to 50 and shareholders receive 250, but the share price doesn't reflect the 5% growth. Total return is still 5%. 250 distribution plus zero NAV change. I like that zero NAV change. We are going to talk with him, by the way, about the new weekly funds and the significant NAV erosion that we're seeing. Oh, we got a question from Miss Koala here. I'm only calling you that because your last name says Koala. Question for Coach and Mr. J. What books or materials do you recommend for a YieldMax customer to use and learn? Well, if you look at the thumbnail, I'm plugging Jay's book, which is called, you'll see it in the thumbnail. I'm actually drawing a blank on the title. I think it's Buy and Trade or something. Hold on here. Let me go back here. I should have this stuff memorized by now. Buy and Hedge. I have an electronic copy of the book. I would recommend that one. I would recommend learning options. I would recommend understanding what you're invested in. I would say a lot of YieldMax investors don't actually understand what they're invested in. That's why we see questions like, is my dividend going to stop if the fund keeps dropping? You got to at least make an effort to understand what you're invested in. These are complex products, and in many cases, when they pay out these high dividends, you're going to see the NAV drop proportionately. So, like I say, it's important for everyone to at least try to have a working knowledge of what they're invested in. Really good comments, by the way, from Invest IQ here. Otherwise, the bulk of our attention has been focused on options trading and Nvidia earnings this week. Let's see. So there was discussion about 1256 contracts. If all YieldMax funds ran up 100% tomorrow, we would see a cap on share price, is what H-Town Realtor said. These are good observations here. We're going to bring all this up as much as time allows. We'll probably go for about an hour or so. So we had extensive discussion here about 1256 contracts. MSTR, there's some really, that's funny. There's some really crazy stuff going on with SMCI and MSTR. Both have been very volatile. Oh, here was some discussion about unrealized capital gains taxes. That's something Biden wanted to do. Glad that never went through. Once they sell for profit, they realize gains, they must pay 90% by fiscal year end. So the mark-to-market requirement. We had some really good discussion in Discord this week. Let's see here. The NAV dilemma. This is an article from Tap Alpha. Discover why synthetic ETFs face zero long-term growth potential due to tax rules. Ooh, we're going to bring this up. Thanks, Income Architect, for pointing this out to us. We'll definitely bring this up. So why synthetic ETFs face zero growth potential? Exchange traded funds are popular investment vehicles that offer blah, 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 blah. Yeah, we know all that. Um, are any of these considered? I guess it technically is considered a synthetic. That's a buzzword that gets thrown around quite a bit. Now, this could be actually very interesting. Okay, so income architect brought this up. He said, "I've been wrong about synthetics. I always thought they had to close the option to realize the gains. Gains are realized automatically even if the synthetic options are not closed or sold." Interesting. The ETF must treat any gains as realized income for tax purposes. This is false about having to sell the PMCC, which is an abbreviation for poor man's covered call, in case you all didn't know, to realize the gains. They have to pay you the gains on the synthetics even if they did not sell them. This means poor man's covered call can never have a NAV greater than the original starting point on January 1st, 2025. Max price for these funds on December 31st, 2025. We're going to check you on this one. He called out Roundhill. QDTE 4002, XDTE 5016, RDTE 4133. Sorry, that will be your max NAV at the end of 2025. The mechanics of the fund does not matter. So we're going to ask the man directly tomorrow. So hope you tune in tomorrow, Income Architect. Good points here. Really good points. Let's see. Otherwise, we were preoccupied, like I said, with NVIDIA earnings. Let's see how we're actually looking in the thread here. We've had about 4 months to build up here. What do we have here? Can you ask Jay if they will be creating a Misty inverse? Of course, and I'm sure they will. H-Town says, what market would there be for that? There's no market for the other inverse. That's kind of the whole point behind my question. By them putting the words capital appreciation in the fund description as a secondary goal, they are setting an expectation in the mind of the investor that there could be or should be capital appreciation. We'll bring this up to him too. Whereas if they simply said the purpose of the fund is maximum income, then there would be no expectation of appreciation, right? I actually don't know. Is that what they say um, on the site? I'll take your word for it. Or do they think this fund might be managed in such a way to provide for appreciation? Yeah, this is a really great question for sure. Oh, here we go. Yeah, in the fund description for SDTY, the direct competitor of XDTE, it states that SDTY is an actively managed ETF that seeks income and capital appreciation. How realistic is the secondary goal of capital appreciation? How's that going to be achieved? Good point. Oh, I like how about that? I like the 3D reaction there. Ask Jay to give more specifics about when and how feet and 5e rebalance and reconstitute. That's a good one. We'll ask that one for sure. Let's see here. They closed the Misty Synthetic that made 280 million on the sale. Dang. Then lost all the weekly trades. People don't get it. They can't help that. As long as price goes up, it comes out of NAV regardless. I was in these when everyone would bitch about not capturing the upside and they wanted spreads. Now we capture the upside and we lose when we go past strike. Well, can't have it both ways. And no, you can't move strike further out. You don't capture upside, then our payments would be shit. So I want to make a point to you all here. I want to make a promise, or rather a commitment. During the year 2025, I am going to start to analyze these funds. I'm going to look at all the trades and understand them better so I can better deliver content to you all. I want to be able to come on here and do a video where I break down the trades, say whether I agree or disagree, and I'm going to start probably doing that on a daily basis. Let's see here. We've got Ni Roxanne Din. Guilty. I definitely do not understand nor have a good working knowledge of what I'm investing in. So yeah, I would encourage you all to do that. You know, just basic. I mean, it doesn't have to be super advanced because I mean these are advanced products. I'm not saying you have to understand options trading overnight. I mean, Rome wasn't conquered in a day, obviously. Um, but just working knowledge, good principle. So that's my commitment to you all on this channel. I'm gonna start to my goal is to increase my proficiency, improve my content, and I want to start like this comment that H Town said here. I want to be able to have a good back and forth discussion on the videos about stuff like that. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go live in the voice chat in Discord. So I'll invite any of you that want to come on. Since we're in Discord, it should pick up the sound. But any of you that want to come into the voice chat and chop it up as to what you might want to ask Jay, feel free to come on. So this is interesting here, and like I said, we're gonna see. We're gonna look at the trades and we're gonna analyze them ourselves. SMCY, I don't even touch. Oh, here's a good question. Does Jay plan to attend the High Yield Dividend Warriors conference? God, I hope not. I mean, I get, wanting to talk to everybody in the community, but sometimes you just got to have some discretion, I guess. I mean, to each their own. LFGY has different funds than FEED and 5E. That's why I think it's actually has a chance to stay positive. Probably have 80% IV or so based on the funds. I'm gonna wait and see what it looks like. They still have same strategy as 5A. It's losing now. Maybe sell YBIT. I may actually have to sell one at a loss here coming up because I need to produce some money pretty quickly. I was gonna pull it from NVIDIA, but it doesn't look like that's gonna happen. Okay, so here's the good thing. Since it's been like 4 months since we had Mr. J on, we have like 4 months of content in Discord to ask questions from. Weekly payment with owning shares probably means lower payment. Yeah, that's tends to be, but we don't always see that. But I will tell you, right now, you should all be very concerned. Like with LFGY, we're seeing some major NAV erosion, and with the crypto one or the GPTY one, that should concern everybody. Okay, now see what Russell B has done here. And by the way, he has his own channel, by the way, if anybody wants to check that out. I think he's exclusively covers LFGY. So he's analyzing trades here for LFGY. He circled this here. These are LFGY, so the Mercado Libre, Mara. I can at least typically look at these and tell like what the trade is. This is I want to say 2025 January 31st expiring call option at $41 for Robinhood. This is the premium they took in. This is like the number of shares. So I can break down the trades and stuff, but like I said, I'm going to work on that this year. You're going to see some of these videos start to come out from me. I know I've been saying that for a while, but it is going to happen, I promise. Okay, let's see. He asked me a question, running the wheel strategy on LFGY funds. Your thoughts on LFGY? When is the next interview? Not doing wheel. Yeah, here's the thing. I guess I didn't answer you, but I would not do the wheel on YieldMax funds. I've tried. I've looked at it with Tesla. The premium is just not that good, and you don't want to risk getting them called away. Let's see here. Oh, we had a big gap here. Oh, that was funny. There was another YouTuber who will not be named threatened to sue a fund manager on a public forum. I remember that. That's funny. Yeah, not the best idea to mention suing the fund manager that you try to have on your own channel. Not a great idea. But again, as I say, to each their own. Hey, maybe you could sue them and make up for your losses. It's not a terrible idea, I guess. Okay, let's see. Since the last time he was on, what did he say here? If I had 1,000 shares, pay me 1,000, blah, blah, blah. Oh, I'm going to ask, by the way, Tesla officially dropped below $10 a share. So I am going to ask if there's a reverse split coming in Tesla. Let me consolidate here in the thread. Questions tomorrow. Tesla reverse split. Where is, oh, it's officially 12 a.m., so it's officially today. The last day of the month of February. Isn't that nuts, folks? This year is ticking right on by, isn't it? Okay, where is our ROC tax statement for all funds? We're going to ask about what Income Architect said. By design, can these funds not be higher than where they started January 1st? Okay. And then to answer Russell B's question, to answer his question from a while back, no, I would not do the wheel strategy on any YieldMax fund ever. Okay, so who do we have on? I just heard a brave soul has entered the arena to talk to me. Who do we have? Cat's got your tongue.
Venus.
Let's see here. Scroll down. Let's see who you are. Oh, Citizen of
Big
the Year.
Venus.
It looks like you're trying to talk, but you might be muted. Okay, I'm going to go for a couple more minutes here. Let's see,
Can
we
you
got
hear
another
me?
question. Why don't they dump MRNY? Oh, you mean scrap it? Well, here's the thing. I would imagine they have a ton of shareholders. So you want all those people to just lose everything like that? I mean, yeah, they've lost a lot, but they're going to be pissed if they were to just scrap it.
Venus.
Okay, let's see. We'll give Citizen a minute to get his mic working here. Let's see what else we got. Oh, he dropped off. Oh, well. Any questions, Citizen? Submit them in the thread. And I know you're usually on, so I know you'll be on tomorrow. Okay, so I think that's pretty good content. We'll talk about NVDY as well, because obviously NVIDIA was abysmal today. So we'll talk about all that. Anyway, that's pretty much going to do it as far as the pre-interview. So what I would encourage you all to do, if you didn't partake in the video, if you watch this on the back end, comment in the comment section. I'll make sure to read all of those, and any good questions we'll take. And then again, I'm sure a lot of you are just going to tune in live and you'll just ask the questions live. That's probably where 2/3 of the questions actually end up coming from, is the live participation. So we'll look for that tomorrow. Anyway, thank you all so much for tuning in. Like, comment, and subscribe, and join Discord. And last but not least, probably most important, tune in tomorrow, and we'll see you all then. Take care. Good night. Bye.